the person actually isn't here. The question came by email, and it came from Edmonton, Alberta, and it comes from a 9-year-old girl by the name of Sophia. So she's a young entrepreneur, an advocate for girls in STEM. And as I said, at only 9 years of age, she has founded Startup by Sophia. I actually checked it out on the website. You can check it out, Startup by Sophia, which is an organization that creates chemistry, physics, and biology-based products to help educate, inspire, and provide leadership to other children in STEM. Sophia, unfortunately, can't join us today, although I understand somebody in our audience is associated with her, but I haven't got the piece of paper. So she's sent in this question by email. So I quote, "There are a lot of wonderful people and organizations doing camps and things to get girls and women into STEM. STEM is bigger than just a camp. There are STEM innovators like me and that are leading the way to real companies and making a real impact. You need us as role models, and we need you to remove barriers because we need the help. What can leaders like me," and she mentioned some other names, Hannah, Lauren, Ashley, and Caitlin, I take it are young ladies associated with her, "do to help you? What can you do to help us?" She says, "I will give you a hint. Reach out to us because the decision makers, school, parents, and kids need examples." End of quote. Panel. That's from Sophia. Responses?
Okay.
She answered it.
She answered it, and you agree with everything she says?
That's exactly.
I think she is very lucky to have parents who are supporting her, and in all the areas that she is doing, and in starting up companies and doing whatever she has. So she is a very good support from her parents and also school teachers, I guess.
I think the most important thing, though, that she says there, and it's kind of been said here, when you have kids, 3 or 4 of them are excelling, and they want a next step opportunity, and we fail them in the education system and socially to create that net. We keep them in grade 3. We keep them all in grade 4. Within that group, there's always 2 or 3. And that's how I build my programs, is I find those 2 or 3 and create next step opportunities, because they're moving and they're the ones that are ready. And I watched her website. She's ready.
I would like to add something, because what she said was very interesting. I have been working to see all the type of solution that may affect and increase this enrollment in the STEM. And one of the things was that I look at a lot was the lack of role model. So if you look at the university professor, for example, in different STEM fields, the rate in engineering, in mathematics is very low in general. So some of the department of the university try to improve, like at University of Toronto recently that we are trying. But I never thought about actually having a role models amongst the youngest. So I always thought of like having like very successful women that come to talk with those young girls. But what she says is very interesting, because in general, many research show that usually kids tend to be more affected by their peers. Yeah. So seeing this type of young girls that come to their school to say that, okay, I'm young girl Sophia, 9 years old, I was able to build something like in the STEM, would be a very good signal for this. And we have to make advantage of that, I think. We have to take a look of more young role model and try to make them appear in front of their peers, to try to give more, I think more role model for them. Thank you.
If I could just add one last thing, the notion of the camps. We've got a secondary educational system that's formed outside of the public system. And I think as policymakers, we have to be mindful that if there is a perceived educational deficit occurring in terms of teaching models, we may be creating the ecosystem for inequality because those who have parents with knowledge, those who have parents with means, get to go to the camps and get to have this curiosity and this interest flourish. And if you don't have that same accessibility, you don't. And if your school isn't your first touch point, where do you go? And so I think this is wonderful for her, and she's doing exactly what she should be doing in terms of being out there, being a role model and teaching others, which is very important from the peer-to-peer. But I think as policymakers, we have to think about why parents are increasingly seeking to educate their children through summer camps, after-school programs, more and more in these areas, coding, robotics, outside of the school system, formal. And we have to think about what that means for lower-income individuals.
Okay, so those are the answers for Sophia.